Okay, in this video I'm gonna show you how to graph how to graph quadratics, but first change to vertex form and then graphing it. Okay, here's the problem. We have two ways of graphing that I've shown you so far. One method is the table values x, y values, and then you need about three numbers. Okay, what's wrong with this method is, well, the disadvantage of this method is the following. For some of you guys, it might take you 10 to 15 minutes to do the graph. That's a very long time, 10 minutes. And then the math is very complicated. Okay. The second method that I show you how to do the graph is you're gonna be using the equation y is equal to a parentheses x minus h square plus k. Now, if you do the graph using this method, you might be able to do it. Some of you guys will be able to do it in 5 to about 10 minutes. So this method will be faster. So we want to do the graph using this method right here. And the advantage is the math is a lot easier and I can do a lot faster than this method right here. Okay. And what is the key to this thing? How do I change it from one form to the other? The method is called completing the square. We done completing the square already. We did it earlier, a couple of months ago. So many of you should be able to know how to complete the square. If you forgot how to complete the square, there is a video on solving quadratics by completing the square. Review that video. And then also you should review other video on graphing vertex form of the quadratics, okay? And remember this is vertex form. So you're gonna be using these equations. Review both videos in order for you to really understand what I'm doing right here, okay? So first thing I do is I have to complete the square. So what I'm gonna do is, what I need to do is, on one side I need x's, the other side I need constants and y's. So what I'm gonna do is, on this side I want x's and x's only. And the reason why I'm deciding that is because you know what? All my x's, they're over here. Okay, so on this side I want constants or numbers and y's. That's what I'm looking for, x and y's. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do the following step, constants and y's. That means I need this to be x or, I'm sorry, y's or numbers, and that is y. So this side is okay. On the right hand side, I want x's, nothing but x's. So all of these should have an x. If it doesn't have an x, get rid of it. So he doesn't have an x. So the way you get rid of plus 10 is minus 10. And then wait it to one side, you do it to the other. These cancel because they're opposites. Y minus 10 cannot be combined. So the answer is y minus 10 equal in the middle. And I have x squared plus 6x. Now I'm gonna leave some space right here because I'll be adding a number. And then wait, what I did to one side, I need to do it to the other side. Okay. So when you complete the square, the x squared, there should be no number right here. And in this case, there is no number. So I need to do the following. What number am I going to be adding? Well, the formula is take the v value, cut it in half, and then you square it. This is my v value. So my v value is 6 divided by 2, and then you're going to square it. Half of 6 will give you 3, and 3 squared will give you 9. So that'll give me 9. So what that tells me is the number that I'm adding is 9, and the number that I'm adding over here is 9. Because remember, what you did to one side, you did to the other side. So now, when you complete the square, you guarantee that you can write this as parentheses something square. Now the letter will be x, plus or minus. The plus or minus depends on this. If you have plus, it should be a plus. If you have a minus, it should be a minus. Now, what number can I square to give me 9? 3 square will give me 9. Now, the other side, the only thing you're allowed to combine is negative 10 plus 9. If you owe me $10 and you have $9, you still owe me $1. Why? So I complete the square rating. Okay. Now, what I need to do is get the y by itself. So to get the y by itself, I'm going to add 1 from here. And when you add over here, you should do it over here, both sides. These will cancel, so you have y is equal to, now here's what you need to know is the following. This thing is together, cannot be separated. So this cannot combine with that. So the answer will be parentheses x plus 3, all of that, quantity square, plus 1. Okay, so now I can, right underneath, I'm going to write y is equal, the vertex form is a x minus h quantity square plus k. Now what I need to do is I need to find the a value. I need to find the h value, and I need to find the k value. Well, this is your a. Now there's nothing here. There's actually a 1 in here, so my a is 1. This is my h value. Remember, the h is the opposite. The opposite of plus 3 is negative 3. And my k value is 1. Once you find that, then do the table transformation. For table transformation, you do it this way. So this is my table of transformations. What you're going to do is do the following. The parent is y is equal to x squared, and that is the parent for all parabolas. So if x is 0, 0 squared will give you 0. If x is 1, 1 squared will give you 1. If x is 2, 2 squared will give you 4. Now let's do the stretch or compression. The formula is say y in this problem a is equal to 1. So we have 1 multiplied by y. So what this is telling you is take all the y values and multiply by 1. These are the y values. So 0 multiplied by 1 will give you 1. 1 multiplied by 1 will give you, I'm sorry, 1 multiplied by 0 will give you 0. 1 multiplied by 0 is 0. Now 1 multiplied by 1 will give you 1. And 4 multiplied by 1 will give you 4. So what I did is I took all the y values and I'm multiplying by 1. That's why I got this answer. Now the translation, remember translation means movement, move horizontally or vertically. The formula is x plus h, so the formula will be x plus, the h value in our case is negative 3. So instead of h is negative 3, instead of being plus is subtraction. So what this just tell me is take all the x values and subtract 3 from them. I'm going to take all these x values and I'm going to subtract 3 from them. 0 minus 3 will give me negative 3. 1 minus 3 will give me negative 2. And 2 minus 3 will give me negative 1. Okay, so now vertical translation or vertical movement. The formula is y plus k. In our case, k is equal to 1, so k plus 1, because k is equal to 1. Now this tell me take the y values and add 1 to it. Okay, so I'm going to take these y values and I'm going to add 1 to them. So 0 plus 1 will give you 1. 1 plus 1 will give you 2. And 4 plus 1 will give you 5. And this is what I'm going to be graphing. When you graph, I'm going to be graphing this right here. These are my x's, and these are my y's. To remember is x and y. These are my x's, and these are my y's. So now, the thing to notice is all the x's are negative. So what I need is mainly everything on the left side. Now the y is positive, so all I need is positive y. So when I graph, if you think about this is my y-axis, this is my x-axis. Okay, what I'm using mainly the negative x, and I'm using mainly the positive y. Negative positive y, that means you're using this side. This is the part of the graph that I need. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I need the negative x. This will be negative x. Yeah, negative x, and then this will be my y. I need mainly right here. I don't need any of those. So all I need is right here. Quadrant number 2. So what I'm going to do, I want to do the following. If x is negative 1 and y is 3, x is negative 1, and I'm sorry, x is negative 3 and y is 1. If x is negative 3, 1, 2, 3, and y is 1, that is the first point. Second point, x is negative 2 and y is 2, negative 1, 2, 1, 2. This is my second point. Third point, x is negative 1 and y is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now connect the first 2 points together and connect point number 2 with point number 3. Okay, and that is my graph. Now that doesn't look like a parabola, and that's it because I only drew half of the parabola. If I'm gonna use the mirror to help me draw the parabola. So my mirror, it happens at the first point that I graphed. And the name of this mirror is axis of symmetry. So I'm gonna be using the 2 points that I know. I know that point and I know that point. So what I'm gonna do is find the distance between this line and that point. The distance is 1. Count 1, the opposite direction, and then drop the point. The distance between this line and this point is 2. Go to the opposite direction. Now connect 2 and 1 and connect 2 and 3. And that is your graph. That's it. You're done. That's the graph. Okay. So part of the reason why they love this method is fast and easy. And we're using what we learned earlier. We're using completing the square and we're using graphing in vertex form. Okay. So now example number 2 is slightly more complicated. So this is example number 2. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to complete the square. So the way I'm going to complete the square is the following. Um, most of my x's, well, all the x's are on the right. So on the right hand side, I want x's. So in here, what I want is I need x's. On this side, I want constants. That means numbers. And all I need is the y's. So I'm going to separate them. On the left side, I need the constants or y's. This is a y, so this is okay. On the right hand side, I need the x's, all x's. If it's not an x, I need to get rid of it. He has an x. He has an x. He doesn't have an x, so get rid of negative 35. So the way I get rid of it is do the opposite. The opposite of negative 35 is positive 35. Then when you do to one side, you do it to the other side. Now, these will cancel. So what I have is I have negative 2x squared plus 16x and blank, and then these can be combined. So the answer will be y plus 35. Now I'm going to add a number here, and whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other side. I'm going to add the same number over here. Okay. Now, you gotta make sure before you do that, you have to make sure that the x squared is all by itself, and it's not by itself. There's a minus 2. So I need to get rid of minus 2. So the way you do it is you factor out the minus 2. So what I'm saying, all of these have in common a minus 2. They have a minus 2 in common. Now the leftovers, if I take out minus 2, what's left over is x squared. Now, minus 2 times something should give me positive 16. Now, the reason I'm getting a positive is negative times negative will give me a positive, and the number is 8, and then putting the x. Now, I'm going to be adding something in here, and the left hand side, I have y plus 35 plus whatever number I'm adding. Okay, so you can do this in your head. Take this, cut it in half. Negative 8 cut in half will give you negative 4. And negative 4 squared will give you 16. So now the number that I'm adding 16. Now the biggest mistake many students make, they put 16 in here. And they're arguing the same materials. If you added 16 over here, you should add 16 over here. And the answer is no, I'm not actually adding 16. Remember, everything in here is being multiplied by negative 2. So 16 multiplied by negative 2 will give you negative 32. So you're actually adding negative 32. That's what you're adding. Okay. Now, if you complete the square, you guarantee that you can write negative 2 parentheses square. The letter will be x. The sign will be minus, comes from here, from the middle. And what number can I square to give me 16? The number is 4. And over here, I have the y cannot be combined. Negative 32 plus 35 will give you plus 3. Now you're almost done. Get the y by itself, so get rid of the 3. So we're going to do minus 3, minus 3. On the left hand side, this one I cancel. So you have y is equal to. Now for the other one, remember what I told you is this is by itself. Nothing can be combined because this is almost like negative 3. That's like 2x cannot be combined. And these numbers inside parentheses cannot be combined. So nothing can be combined. So the answer is negative 2 parentheses x minus 4 square minus 3. So once you're here, find the a value, find the h value, and find the k value. A is negative 2, h is 4, and k is negative 3. Remember, if you're not sure how I'm getting these numbers, check out my other video. Okay, so now let's do the transformation. Okay, so for the transformation is the following. So this is my table transformation, and the parent, when you use the parent table transformation, the parent will be is always for quadratics is y is equal to x squared. By now you should memorize these numbers. They never change. From this point on, everything changes. Stretching or compression is a multiplied by y. In this case, a is negative 2. Negative 2 multiplied by y. That is the transformation. It's very hard to see. That is a stretch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the y values and I'm going to multiply by negative 2. We're talking about these y values. So all these values should be multiplied by negative 2. So you do the following. 0 times negative 2 will give you 0. Now 1 multiplied by negative 2 will give you negative 2. And 4 times negative 2 will give you negative 8. Now translation means movement. Horizontal is x plus h, and in our case h is 4, so x plus 4. So what this is telling you is take the x values and add 4 to them. I'm talking about these x values. So 0 plus 4 will give you 4, 1 plus 4 will give you 5, and 2 plus 4 will give you 6. Now the vertical movement is y plus k. In our case, k is minus 3, so it becomes y minus 3. So take the y values and subtract 3 from them, but very important, I'm taking this y value. not the first y, but the second y. So 0 minus 3 will give you negative 3. 0 minus 2 will give you negative 2. And negative 8 minus 3 will give you negative 11. I messed up right here. Negative 2 minus 3 will give you negative 5. So these numbers should be negative 5. Now, yes, graph these values, and thus you get the answer. Remember, this is your x values, and these are the y values, positive and then mainly negative. Okay, so the x I need a mainly positive, and the y's are negative. So my x will be right here, and my y value will be negative here. So what I'm gonna do is this is my x-axis, and this is my y-axis. X is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and y is negative 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That is the first point. Second point, x is 5, negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next point, x is 6, 6, and y is negative 11, is negative 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Same procedure, connect point 1 to point number 2 and connect number 2 to number 3. And so basically that is a graph, but it doesn't look like a problem. Use the points that you know. You know this point and I know this point. And I'm going to use the axis symmetry. The way you draw the axis symmetry is it goes through it's a vertical line that goes through the first point they gave you. So that is my axis of symmetry. The distance between this line and this point is 1. Go 1 the opposite direction and draw it right there. The distance between this line and this point is 1, 2. Go to the opposite direction and put a point right there. Now repeat the procedure. Point 1 connects to point number 2, and number 2 connects to number 3. And that's it. That's your graph. Okay. So if you can complete the square, you can change it to vertex form the equation, and graphing that will be a lot easier and faster than the other method. Thank you very much.